Welcome to Innovators Journey, the show where we go behind the bold ideas and breakthrough moments with leaders, educators, and community builders who are making a difference where it matters most. I'm Nick Franck, and today I'm excited to be joined by Dr. Michael-Angelo James, mayor of Waycross, Georgia, longtime educator and dedicated faith leader. With over 30 years of service as a teacher, assistant principal, pastor, and now professor, Dr. James has spent his life guiding others through learning, leadership, and purpose. He holds a PhD in education, teaches at Coastal Pines Technical College, and also serves on numerous boards across his community, including being the mayor. Dr. James, thanks for taking the time out of your obviously very busy schedule to talk with me today.
Well, Nick, it's an honor to be with you today, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to dive right in as the mayor of Waycross, a city that gets its name, as I learned, from being at the crossroads of 6 different railroad lines. What's your primary mission in leading this historic community?
Thank you for the question, Nick. My primary mission as the mayor is to honor Waycross's rich heritage while I'm steering toward the vibrant and inclusive future. Some of the things that I have to deal with is considering that we are at the crossroads of 6 rail lines. And so this is more than a historical fact. It's kind of more of a metaphor for convergence of opportunity, culture, community. So I aim to foster economic development, enhance our public services, and also create a city where every resident feels seen, heard, and empowered. So my leadership is rooted in collaboration, transparency, and a deep commitment to preserving the soul of our city, Waycross, while preparing for our next generation.
I love that. And you've helped mold a lot of those future individuals with over 3 decades of education experience, and you've been a pastor and a bishop. How do you think all these different experiences helped shape your approach now into becoming a municipal leader?
That's a great question, Nick. I found that both education and ministry have taught me the value of listening and leading with compassion. Also building bridges across those differences that sometimes occur. And as an educator, I've learned how to nurture potential and invest in long-term growth. Now, as a bishop, I've been entrusted with guiding people through both their triumphs and their trials. And these roles have instilled in me servant leadership. And that mindset has helped me to prioritize the people that I serve over politics and progress over partisanship. And I bring that same heart and vision to the city hall, where every decision is made with the well-being of our citizens in mind. So we think about our citizens on a constant basis, and even when training, we utilize that same mindset of listening while leading with compassion.
And a lot of your experience is not just stuff that's in the past, right? Like you're still currently the mayor, you're an author, you're a professor at the Coastal Pines Technical College. You were a former high school educator. So you have all of these things that you're still currently working on. But what draws you to the education alongside your political responsibilities? Like where does that crossroads come in?
Nick, this is a great question because education is the cornerstone of empowerment. And whether I'm in the classroom or here in City Hall, I see my role as helping others realize their potential. So teaching, it keeps me grounded and it reminds me of the dreams our young people carry. And there's a great responsibility that we have to create a community where those dreams can flourish, grow, and prosper. It also allows me to stay connected to the pulse of our future leaders. And it's balancing this education and politics. It's not a challenge as much as it is a calling, and one that I embrace with my whole heart.
I love the idea of being a student and having access to someone like the mayor, right? Like to think about the fact that like, whatever subject you're teaching, you're learning, and you go like, oh, hey, Mr. Mayor, you know that pothole that's outside my house? Like, is there a way we can kind of, do this? I'm curious if you like, do you have any interactions like that in your classroom?
Oh my goodness, yes. That is an interaction that we have. Most recently, one of the students was sitting in the classroom, and before we could get her name good, it was an introductory day where we get the names and a little bit about each person. And in the conversation, she develops this thought about, I have a pothole on this street and we need to get that handled. I said, well, the better part of it here in the city of Waycross is that we have an app called mywaycrossgeorgia.gov, and you can just click on the event and activity going on in your community and send it up to our city. And what it does, it alerts and makes a ticket for someone to come to your area and deal with the issue. So that worked out well in the classroom. And I said, from this point on, we're going to focus on just the class. And any other questions thereafter, we can talk about those afterwards.
Sure. Meet me in my other office if you want to talk about stuff like that.
Most assured.
So as you think about your term and your vision for the future of Waycross, what can your residents expect under your leadership, and what are your visions and goals for the town?
My vision for Waycross, Nick, is one of unity, innovation, and resilience. I see a city where infrastructure is modernized, small businesses can thrive, and neighborhoods are safe and vibrant. And every citizen here has access to that same opportunity. Under my continued leadership, residents can expect a mayor who is accessible, accountable, and always advocating for their best interests. And I believe that together we write the next chapter of Waycross's story, and one that honors our past while boldly embracing our future.
I love that. Dr. James, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your vision for your community with me today.
Thank you so much, Nick, and I've enjoyed this opportunity to share with you.
Yeah, hey, whether it's in the classroom, the pulpit, or city hall, Dr. James' commitment to his community is just shining through. And if this episode inspired you, makes you want to follow the show, please share it with someone else who believes in leading with their heart and leading with vision. Once again, for Dr. James, I'm Nick Franck. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you for the next Innovators Journey.